Let's get you all set up to make the Sabretooth Predator armor. This is amazing armor. I really like it. It's probably one of my favorites, and it can be crafted at iron level. Now, in order to make this armor, there are some prerequisites. First of all, you are going to have to defeat the Sabretooth Predator in its Berserker form. That's how you're going to unlock the recipe for this armor. Additionally, you will need the drops from the Sabretooth and adhesive. So I'm going to show you how to go through this whole process today. In order to do this, you need to be awareness level 40, and you need to bring the items on the screen to the Sabretooth pyramid. That's going to be the rare fresh meat, the premium bone, and the premium blood. The premium bone and blood can be obtained by defeating an elite panther. For the rare meat, usually what I do is just come up here and fight the regular Sabretooth first, and when you harvest it, you will get the rare fresh meat. I prefer to do it that way because I get the other resources that you need to craft this armor at the same time. And the worship containers can be obtained by defeating the leaders of any of the tribes. So you can go to a barrack, or you can go to an outcast camp or an ancient ruin that actually has a leader at it. The plunderer leaders do not drop the worship containers. And I recommend coming up to do this fight in iron armor, not really before that. You can do it in bronze armor, but it is a difficult fight and you're going to have to be very skilled to defeat it. This fight is very similar to the regular Sabretooth fight with one added attack. So the added attack is actually the roar that the Sabretooth does at the beginning of the original fight. Now what you want to do is always keep your eyes on the Sabretooth. If you can keep your eyes on the Sabretooth, you can control the speed of the fight. There you can see the roar after I attacked him, but since I'm still looking in his direction, he didn't come for a second attack. Now I'm going to play the first half of this fight very slow so that I can show you all the different attacks, and then I'm going to speed the fight up and show you how I normally fight him. One of the attacks that the Sabretooth does is when he runs around you. You can simply get him to attack if you show him your back. All you have to do is let him see that you are not looking at him, and he will go to attack. And it's very easy to get behind in this fight if you are not paying attention. You can see I'm currently behind in this fight as it is. You always want to be looking at him, especially when you go to heal. You can see right now he's stalking me, and as long as I just stand here and look at him, he's likely not to attack. He's looking for an opening when he'll pounce. Now, that opening comes whenever he decides that it's a good time to attack. So instead of waiting for him to attack, what I like to do is approach him and force him to make that attack. The fight is then going to be in my favor because I'm controlling the timing. And if you time it properly, you can avoid the damage from the roar. For whatever reason, I don't end up rolling here and take some damage, but you can roll right into him and not take that damage. There are iframes in the game where you are invulnerable to damage, which is why you're able to actually dodge when he roars. Now we're coming up to the point where he's going to show his last couple of moves. So we have this jump and pounce, and then we're also going to have a jump and double swing here, and that's the jump and double swing. So you just want to be prepared to roll out of the way of those damages. I'm going to speed this fight up here now so that I can show you exactly how I engage in this fight. I should also mention that you can block some of his attacks when his eye doesn't turn red or he isn't roaring. You can actually block those attacks or parry those attacks. I personally don't do that. I just roll and dodge out of all of his attacks. And I usually just try to get one attack in between each one of his attacks. So as you can see, he's running around. I'm going to roll out of the way here, and now I'm going to push him in this fight. Just watch my stamina, make sure I've got enough stamina, and then go in for a single attack. He's going to roar. Unfortunately, I was in between my roll there, but since I'm behind him and he turns around to see me, he doesn't attack again. If you show him your back while you're down, he's going to attack immediately. I get a couple of hits in here, he roars, and I roll through it and then finish him off. Now, it's pretty likely that you've already been in this pyramid to unlock the power that you unlock with the Sabretooth kill the first time. However, I do recommend coming in here when you kill him so that you can get the 2 chests that are on either side of the room. Now that you've unlocked the armor, I'm going to give you some tips on crafting the armor that you're going to need for the Sabretooth armor. You want to make sure that you are crafting the best and highest quality armor for this. So you want legendary gear, and you want to do it with the best tribesmen for that armor. You can see on the screen right now I have 2 legendary rings, and those legendary rings have different durabilities because of the proficiency perks that I chose for the 2 different crafters. That's a difference of 200 durability less for using a different craftsperson. So you want to make sure you're using the best possible crafter for this armor. So here's the differences. For this character, I chose to go with durability, and then quality. With the previous crafter, I chose to go with durability and then quality and quality. The reason why is because I was in bronze gear when I initially got this crafter. And when I get a crafter that goes up to proficiency level 120, I will do durability, and then quality at the end. So let me show you how big of a difference this makes. You can see the armor that I just crafted is 7,740 total durability. If we look at the armor that I crafted before this with the other armorer, you can see that the durability is 7,380 as the total durability that it had. Now, 360 additional durability may not sound like a whole lot, but when you get into some of these dungeons, they are very long, and having that extra durability can make the difference in not breaking armor while you're in that dungeon. Now, before I take you to get the adhesive, which is going to be the last ingredient you need, I want to talk a little bit about radiation. First of all, you should make sure you make radiation mods and put them on your armor as well as on your pet's armor. And these mods do stack. The best way to get rid of radiation on your pet is to feed it the stasis dissipation soup. To get rid of the radiation on your character, the best way to do that is actually just eating honey, as it removes 5 radiation for each honey you consume. The location that we're going to is the Ancient Ruins dungeon in the top right-hand corner of the desert. Now, this is a very difficult area, and I suggest coming up here during the day as it gets really cold here at night. When approaching from the front, you are going to be met with plunderers all the way up to level 50. These guys are using iron weapons, and they are in iron armor, so they are going to be very difficult to defeat, especially if you're not already in the Sabretooth armor or the best possible armor you can be. Fighting more than one of these guys at a time is a dreadful process. They will overwhelm you very quickly, so you want to pick them off one by one if you can do that. Now, this can be done in iron level gear. I do recommend getting a tribesman that is proficient in one of the weapons so that you can do the most possible damage to these enemies, as they do attack very hard and they take a lot of damage in order to kill them. Now, you're going to be looking for chests in this area. There are chests littered throughout this entire ruins, all the way back to a dungeon where there's mechanical enemies. And honestly, I don't even come through the main area anymore. I go around the side, and I'll show you that here in a moment, and I'll explain why I don't come through this first area. Now that we finally got this guy defeated, we will loot the premium bandages. All of these guys drop premium bandages and other really good items. So if you're coming in this area, this is a great way to stock up on those premium bandages. You then want to go through the ruins and look for the different chests. You can see we have a chest right here, and this chest is going to give us 5 of the adhesive. There's a lot of other really good items that drop in this area as well. However, I still don't feel like this is the most proficient way to get adhesive. Now, to follow along the path that I'm going to take you, you are going to need a mount that can jump. From the entrance, you want to head off to the left, and you're going to get up on these rocks. Some of these rocks will require you to jump, and you cannot climb in this area. So I go right here, I use my mount to get up, and then I'm going to bypass the entirety of the area where there are plunderers. I'm going to jump over to this roof and then onto another roof and head into the mechanical dungeon at the back of this area. This bypasses a lot of fighting, and yes, there are chests that can drop more than 5 adhesive in that area, but I'm going to show you where to get the most adhesive for the time that you're going to put in. Now make sure when you're coming down here, you have the corrosive tanks, because we are going to be fighting the different mechanical enemies that are in here. And as you reach the end of this hallway, you'll find that anything that was chasing you in should de-aggro and not be worried about you being there any longer. So all you have to do is worry about what's in front of you, which is going to be the mechanical enemies. I do recommend having a tribesperson that is proficient in hammers in order to come in here. These guys are above level 40. You can see this room has some 45s, 41. So it's important to have a tribesperson that can do a lot of damage with the hammer or the gauntlets. We'll go in the first door to the right when I entered this area, because I want to show you a couple of things down this hallway. First of all is the pressure plate that's on the floor there. You want to make sure you don't step on those, because it will shoot arrows when you walk over it. The other thing is this mechanical core D. I find these to be the most difficult to fight. You can tell that it's a mechanical core D by either reading what's on the screen or by the color of the eyes that are on this mechanical core. You can see that they're red and they shoot electricity at you. It did 713 damage to me in really good armor. But in these chests, you're going to find more adhesive. You can see the first one I opened had 10, plus the radiation proof mods and other really good loot. Now at some point I will do a full guide on this dungeon so you know where to go to find all the enemies that are in here and all of the loot. There's also a really good item at the end of this dungeon for defeating the main boss. But what I want to show you in this video is if you can defeat the mini bosses or the main boss in this area, you really want to do that, because the chest that is in these rooms has a lot of adhesive. You'll also be picking up the really good different crystals from those enemies, and I recommend doing this as much as possible to flush out the build for your character. But as you can see, as we open this chest, there's a total of 25 adhesive in this chest, as well as some heat-proof mods and other really good items. Now it is possible that your numbers may vary from mine, because I am playing on the content creator server and they may reduce the numbers in the early access build. But the fact that the chests in here already have more than the chests that you can find outside tells me that you will be able to get more adhesive inside this dungeon than you would if you looted the chests that are in the plunderer area. I'd like to thank all my YouTube members for your continued support. Y'all are absolute legends. Don't be out of whack. There's another video on the screen right now that you can watch to support more of my content.